Jeff, the action in the book takes the readers to some attractions that are full of American history. Is there any particular reason why you've carefully woven the story around the Hall of Presidents and the American Adventure?
There is. Because this time in the book, I really wanted to kind of build on some of the ideas that I started in the first book, talking about the life and times of Walt Disney, what he loved, the history of his life, and he was very much into American history. I mean, Walt said, I get red, white, and blue sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so America was very important to him. And a lot of people might want to criticize Walt because he had a very polished up, stylized view of America. But that's okay. I mean, as a history teller, I mean, he created moments that we can remember both in films and also in his theme parks. And so for Liberty Square as an area, I wanted to make sure I mentioned that because that was very important to him and the things that he built. And so I even mentioned how Disney has an education program that takes place where they actually teach some American history and they use their attractions to do it. And so I wove a lot of the Hall of Presidents into it because as a kid, I remember that was a big deal to go to that. Of course, the Abraham Lincoln statue in there, Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, is one of Walt's classic attractions, a breakthrough in audio animatronics, and so that was kind of a big idea they built on there. Roy Disney historically really did push for this Hall of Presidents extravaganza to take place, and so that was an important part of Walt Disney World being opened. The seal of the president's seal there in the rotunda area. Mm-hmm. Again, that's the only place outside the White House that legally that seal can be placed into a carpet like that. That's all part of the Hall of Presidents. And so I really wanted to put that bit of Americana into it and tie some of that American history into it because when you're standing in Liberty Square, nothing is by accident, from the Liberty Bell to the number of lights in the window. That's all part of that big story that the Disney Imagineers are trying to tell. Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned the Hall of Presidents. Now take us on the Epcot connection with American Adventure, with the American Adventure.
Well, American Adventure sits back at the back of the World Showcase and really is the center of all those nations that you're going to walk past. And the American Adventure to me is a very intriguing attraction as well. I mean, I love to watch it and I love to go in there and kind of hear the story of America and history unfold, and I like to hear, Mark Twain talk to Benjamin Franklin as audio animatronic figures move around, which is very well done. But also there's a lot of history that's kind of tucked into that building that if you just run in to see the show, you miss. When you go in, you kind of veer off to the right. There's a huge museum that has all sorts of pieces from American presidents that are on loan that have come from all over the country that are a part of that. But then also, if you go around and look real carefully, the paintings depict pieces of American history that become very integral in understanding the history that we've come from. And so what I did is I kind of wove that back into the story as well. And I took some time to use the paintings that are there all the time, which really are works of art that people don't look at, to kind of be a part of this story and a part of this mystery, especially when you get back to Lessons to the Future, which is a painting that you can really miss. It's in the very back of the building. But if you get there and look at it very closely, it has a connection back to the Magic Kingdom. And so when I used these history pieces, I was trying to weave kind of the ways the parks kind of fit into one another, and how you can find clues in one park that if you look real carefully gives you a hint of something that's in the other park, and kind of vice versa. And so for me, it just became a part of the trivia and the layers of mystery and just stuff that you could find in the details that more often than not people miss and they don't pay any attention to.